Namana, it's namana, it's namana, it's namana. Namana, it's namana. Let's begin this morning's service by singing the Vandana Tisarana, which will be found on the screen or on page 7 of the Red Jodo Shinshu service book. Let's sing the Pali and English verses together. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to him, the exalted one, the enlightened one, the supremely awakened one. Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhamman saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Naman Dabutsu, Naman Dabutsu, Naman Dabutsu. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Let's sing the hymn Gasho with Amida, the words of which will be shown on the screen. Namo Amida Butsu. I recite Amida's name with deep joy and gratitude. I gasho with Amida, trees and grasses and flowers all grow in great compassion. This light shines throughout the world. I gasho with Amida. Flowers bloom and flowers fall. From the seed sprout new flowers. This is the truth unchanging. I gasho with Amida. Springtime brings the happy birds. Their songs all praise Amida. I join them in Nembutsu. I gasho with Amida. When I call Amida's name, It's Amida calling me. Buddha's voice, my voice are one. I gasho with Amida. When I'm lonely, I recite Namo Amida Butsu. Then I feel great compassion. I gasho with Amida. Nembutsu in work and play. Every day with Amida. Every moment filled with light. I gasho with Amida. Remember the golden chain. Kindness to all living things. I will follow this teaching. I gasho with Amida. In the clear bright morning sun, in the fading light of day, in the darkness of the night, I gasho with Amida. Namo Amida Butsu. I live in great compassion. This great power guides my life. I gasho with Amida. Namandabu, 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 Namandabu. The virtue of Amida's vow is shared equally by all, together attaining awakened mind. We are born in the land of peace. Namanda, Bitsanamanda, 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 Bitsanamanda. Namo Amida Bits, Namo Amida Bits, Namo Amida Bits. Let's sit together quietly for a few moments. So just relax and get comfortable. If you are able, sit forward in your seat and place both feet flat on the ground. Sit up straight and align your head, your neck, your shoulders, and your back in a straight line that goes down to the floor. Place your hands comfortably in your lap. Now close your eyes and just breathe. Breathe in and breathe out. In and out. As you breathe in, you feel energy filling your body. And as you breathe out, any stress or worries in your mind just fade away. Just breathe. The sound of the gong will signal the end of our quiet meditation. Namana, Vitsanamana, 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 Namana, Vitsanamana. If you are able to do so at home, we would like to encourage everyone to offer incense at this time. Offering of incense is an ancient ritual of purification of mind and body, a gesture of respect, and an expression of gratitude for the Dharma teachings. Namana, Vitsanamana, 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 Vitsanamana. Namana, Vitsanamana. Offertory, or making donations and offerings, is the practice of dana, egoless generosity, the first of the 6 paramita perfections of the Mahayana tradition. All donations are gratefully accepted in the spirit in which they are given. If you'd like to make an offering, you can scan this QR code to visit our online offertory box, or you can make an online donation of any amount via credit card. You can also visit our website, makwahonganji.org, and click on Donate in the menu on the left-hand side. Let's read the Golden Chain of Love together, found on the screen, or page 126 of the Red Service Book. I am a link in Amida Buddha's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my link bright and strong. I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, to say pure and beautiful words, and to do pure and beautiful deeds, knowing that on what I do now depends not only my happiness or unhappiness, but also that of others. May every link in Amida's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Good morning, children. Aloha kako. Ohayo gozaimasu. It's so wonderful to see you. How are you feeling today? Let me put on my magic glasses and let's see who's here. Oh, look. Well, there's Tyrus and Kalena and Benji and Tori and Nolan and Cora and Lilinoy and Meleana. And there's Madison, there's Maddie, and there's Kave and Lena and Kaya and Emmy and Micah. Oh, and there's Kenneth, Lindsay, Sierra, and Wesley. And there's Cadence and Melody and Tide and Cruz, Ison and Jai. And so many other wonderful children from around the world. Hello, children. And I can also see our Dharma school teachers, Auntie Sharon and Auntie Karen. Thank you for coming this morning. Oh, we have a visitor. Who do you think it could be? Do you think it's our special guest? Let me go see. Oh, well, good morning. It's so good to see you. Thank you so much for coming. Please come in. Good morning, children. How are you? It's so nice to see you. So please, come in. Let's have you have a seat right here. Okay. So look, children. It's our special guest, Chuot the mouse, who's come to visit us all the way from Vietnam. Let's welcome our new friend with a big aloha. Aloha! Aloha, children! It's so nice to see you! Well, thank you very much for coming all the way from Vietnam to be with us here this morning. It's my pleasure, Sensei. Good morning, children. What's in the basket that you have? Ah, it's a fish trapper. A fish trapper? Oh my, please show us how it works. Well, you put the fish in here and then you move the trap. It's kind of straightforward, Sensei. Oh, okay. Well, you find some fish and then you trap them. Ah, very good. I'm going to have to try that. Wow, because that's just like so cool. And I heard that the Oama are starting to run in Maui. And I thought I'd ask my buddies, Tori and Benji, if they wanted to go Oama fishing together. Well, I know that Uncle Sean would love to go catch plenty Oama. Yes, yes, sir. Sorry, wrong voice. Yes, sir. Hanapa'a. Okay. Well, Sensei could talk about fishing all day. So let's introduce today's Children's Dharma Storybook Time. So let's have you sit here. So today's story time is Kai the Opihi Gets the Point, which will be narrated by Nina Keali'i Wahamana. Keali'i Wahamana, who will be the narrator here. So let's enjoy the story.
Kai the Opihi Gets the Point. Written by Gail Omoto, Jan and Judy Dill. Illustrated by Garrett Omoto. Narrated by Nina Keali'i Wahamana. When you hear this sound, turn the page.
There once was an Opihi. His name was Kai. He was a very sad Opihi, and I'll tell you why. His shell was very flat, you see, not big and pointed like it was supposed to be. Most Opihi have shells that point to the sky. Whenever Kai saw the others, he wanted to cry. His 5 friends tried to help him. They each thought they knew how to make Kai's shell big, and pointed too. His first friend, the Puhi, was quick to take the lead. "I know, Kai," he said. "Eat lots of seaweed." His second friend, the Honu, was much bigger than he. "Build up your muscles," she said. "Swim along with me." His third friend, the He'e, thought his advice was best. "It's simple, Kai," he said. "Get lots of rest." His fourth friend, the Eva, thought hard and long. She finally told Kai, "Try singing a song." His fifth friend, the Papai, looked up from her hole. "Keep yourself clean," she said. "Make that your goal." Kai tried all of these things that his friends had said, but his shell didn't change. He got tired instead. Poor Kai was so sad. He cried and he cried. "I'll never have a pointy shell," he thought with a sigh. And while he sat trying to find his way, he remembered his tutu and wondered what she would say. Kai traveled all day and he traveled all night. Soon he was at Tutu's house, explaining his plight. Tutu Opihi was gentle and wise. She listened to Kai with love in her eyes. "What do you do when a wave comes your way?" "I get scared," said Kai, "so I never stay. The waves are so big and I am so small. If the waves crashed on me, I'd be nothing at all." Tutu smiled kindly and said, "Kai, come near. The next time a wave comes, cling tightly and don't fear." "You mean hang on to the rock? Won't the wave wash me away?" "No," said Tutu. "You can hold on all day." "I'll give it a try," said Kai with a grin. And the very next day, he went out for a swim. He stretched out on a rock and basked in the sun. But when he saw a wave coming, he wanted to run. Then he remembered what Tutu had said and decided to stay and hold on instead. Kai made up his mind and he didn't run. And at the end of the day he said, "This is fun!" He hung on all day and he hung on all night, and the waves couldn't budge him despite their might. He hung on for days and days without end, and one day he heard a shout from a friend. "Look at your shell, Kai. It's pointed and strong. Clinging to the rock was the answer all along." Kai saw his reflection bright and clear in the sea, and he said to himself, "Can this really be me?" Then he jumped up and down and gave a big cheer. Tutu was right. Always cling and never fear.
The end. Well, wasn't that a great story, children? What was your favorite part? Really? Ah, yeah. Have you ever let the waves crash on top of your head? Did they get pointy? Is Sensei's head pointy? I don't know. I'll have to look in the mirror next time. Let's see. Have you ever seen a real opihi? If you have a chance to go look for opihi, please be very, very careful because opihi live on the slipperiest rocks where the waves can pound them constantly. So one, you're going to get very wet, and two, if you're not careful, the wave might knock you into the water. And remember, never turn your back on a wave. Always watch the ocean. So just be careful because they're out there. We've actually found them. They're really cool. The other thing that Sensei liked was tutu knows stuff, right? If you ever have a problem you can't solve, try asking your tutu or your tutu kane, your grandma and grandpa. You'd be surprised what amazing things your tutu can teach you. And the other thing I thought was interesting was that because you are all still growing up, so you'll be different when you get bigger. In a couple years, you're going to be much, much different. So don't worry if you're not able to do everything that you see the bigger kids do or you see adults do, because eventually you too are going to grow up and you'll be able to do those things too. And if you stand under the waves, maybe you'll have a pointy head. Now let's say goodbye to our special guest, the mouse, who came all the way from Vietnam to be with us today. So let's say aloha, aloha, aloha. Actually, Sensei, I have a question. Sure, what's that? What can I do for you? Well, actually, I've always wanted to know, why do you only have one voice when you make everybody talk? Well, what are you talking about? You know, you have this really high-pitched voice, just like right now. Well, I have no idea what you mean. Well, you know, it's like I can see your lips moving too. No, you can't. No, you can't. My lips aren't moving. No, yes, they are. See, they're moving right now when I'm talking, and you have this really weird high-pitched voice. Okay. We could talk about this all morning, but we have to go. So let's say goodbye to the children. Thank you very much for coming. So goodbye, children. Bye-bye. Okay, Tori and Benji, grab your fishing poles. Let's go fishing now. Bye. So now we'll have the Dharma talk for adults. And as I mentioned last week, our granddaughter Melody asked, Grandpa, why is the adult Dharma story, adult Dharma talk always so boring? And I didn't have a good answer for it. And nobody wrote any answers in the Facebook comments. So if you have any advice for how to make the Dharma talk for adults less boring, please put them in the comments below. And believe me, I'll look at them. Well, let's begin, as we always do, with the words of Shinran Shonin. Saved by the inconceivable working of Amida's vow, I shall realize birth in the Pure Land. The moment you entrust yourself thus to the vow, so that the mind set upon saying the Nembutsu arises within you, you're immediately brought to share in the benefit of being grasped, never to be abandoned. Know that the primal vow of Amida makes no distinction between people young and old, good and evil. Only Shinjin is essential, for it is the vow to save the person whose karmic evil is deep and grave, and whose blind passions abound. Thus, for those who entrust themselves to the primal vow, no good acts are required, because no good surpasses the Nembutsu. Nor need they despair of the evil they commit, for no evil can obstruct the working of Amida's primal vow. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. So that's the words of Shinran Shonin from the Tanisho, a record and lament of divergences, and this is the first chapter. Today, I'd like to talk about how and why bachi happens. So one of the big surprises for this katonk, for this Japanese American from the mainland, living in Hawaii for the first time, was to discover how many people here use the Japanese term bachi. Don't do that, you'll get bachi. And not just Japanese American or Japanese people, like everybody I meet, everybody I've met here knows the word bachi. So I'm constantly amazed at how pervasive Japanese culture and Japanese words are here in Hawaii. So today I'd like to talk about bachi. Where does bachi come from? What does it mean? And how Shinran's words, once again, speak to us almost 800 years later. So your grandfather or grandmother may have taught you about bachi at an early age. Don't do that. You'll get bachi. No, no, no. So bachi comes from basuru, the verb basuru, which in the original Japanese meaning means to be punished for breaking the precepts of monastic life. So breaking the rules of being a monk and the vows of a priest, depending on your situation. But originally it meant to break the precepts of a monk. And if you do that, then you lose your status as a monk. What's interesting is the original meaning evolved over time to include the idea of karma in the consequences, as in the consequences of one's thoughts, words, and actions. So in other words, bachi became sort of like instant karma. In very simple terms, if you do something bad will happen to you. So it's really easy to see why the first generation of Japanese immigrants brought the concept of bachi across the Pacific with them to Hawaii. And actually, I'm sure that most cultures have a word for this, have this idea of do something bad and something bad will happen to you. So bachi, became kind of like instant karma. Do bad stuff will happen to you. So don't do bad stuff. I mean, it's fairly straightforward. So where does the word or this idea bachi come from? Well, I remember hearing a story during Sunday family service at the Senshin Buddhist Temple in Los Angeles, where my grandparents, my parents, and my brother and sister and I were members. So they told this story. Once upon a time, an elderly member, a kupuna of the Sangha, was concentrating so intently on the minister's Dharma talk, he closed his eyes to focus on the words. And he promptly fell asleep, snoring gently. And then, quite loudly. So the minister grabs the bachi, the striker used for the ceremonial gong, and he throws it at the elder, who shouts out, "Ow!" and "Namuami Dabutsu" as the striker bounces off of his head. The end. Is that a true story? I don't know. It sure makes a good one. But I love how the elder wakes up and says, "Namuami Dabutsu." That, in a nutshell, is what ministers do. So this is said to be the origin of the Japanese expression "bachi ga ataru." You will get bachi. I mean, quite literally, the striker will hit you is one way to look at this. And this expression is often used when teaching good behavior to children. So, true or not, this is kind of a funny story that you can tell when introducing the onaijin, the honorific inner sanctum of the altar area, to guests and visitors to our temples here in Hawaii. So it is a play on words between two different kanjis. The complicated one at the top is bachi, the striker stick for the gong, which is the image that's there. And then the bottom one is bachi in the sense of punishment. So it's pronounced the same way, but different kanji, so different meaning. And so this is where kind of the joke comes from, that the bachi ga ataru. If you fall asleep during my Dharma talk, I will throw the bachi at you. I've only got a small one with me here, but I'll throw this at you. It'll bounce off your head. And Namo Amidabutsu, and you'll be saved. So anyway, that's the story, and it is kind of a funny story. But is it true or not? I don't know. Instant karma. So this idea of bachi. Have you ever noticed, like, bachi always happens to somebody else? So I know, maybe if you're like me, I mean, I can waste entirely too much time watching online videos of instant karma for stupid people who think, say, and do stupid things. So you do something stupid and then instantly something happens. So the idea that the universe will exact punishment on the bully, the bigot, the bad driver. So if you do something bad will happen to you. This interpretation of karma is very popular in American culture. But it's only half the definition of karma in a Buddhist sense. So when I become the object of bachi, or karmic punishment, karmic consequences, suddenly it's not my fault. It's that other guy who deserves to be punished. It's always about me, but never my fault. I think we'd all agree that bocce happens, and we'd also agree that we definitely prefer bocce would happen only to other people. So why? Why do we think of bocce this way? So it's about me. It always comes back to this. We know better. We know better. But we continue to remain stubbornly self-centered. And this is the human condition which Shakyamuni Buddha addressed 2,600 years ago. So the traditional path to awakening, the traditional Buddhist path to awakening, requires renunciation of this world. Give up all of your wealth, possessions, position, and going off to the mountains to become a monk. And through intensive training, study, meditation, and practice, one can confront the selfish ego. You can defeat the ego, and you can break free of the bondage of selfishness. This is the traditional approach in Buddhism. Unfortunately, not everyone is in a position to become a monk. So what should one do? What should one do? Well, I suppose you could become a Honganji minister. Honganji ministers don't have to become monks. We don't have to go to the monastery. We can be married, we can have children, and we don't actually have to give up anything. And that's a good thing, since there are times, of course, when I deserve bocce, because I think, say, and do things without considering the impact on others, or I act in anger and rage. Or worse, using angry looks, unkind words, or manipulative calculation to hurt other people deliberately. So I'm no better than anyone else simply because I'm allowed to wear the robes of a Honganji priest. I'm nothing more than Bonbu, an ordinary, unexceptional being, a human being, self-centered, ego-driven, living life as if it's always about me. But we must remember that Amida's great compassionate vow, the 18th vow, the primal vow, is the absolute assurance that because I'm unable to achieve awakening on my own, I'm unable to become enlightened on my own, Amida's vow, Amida's promise is that I will be born in the Pure Land, where I will instantaneously realize enlightenment and return to this world to help others to help find their way to birth in the Pure Land. And just as I am, the karmic fool, Amida's compassion embraces me, never to abandon me. So, no matter how much bocce I may or may not, deserve for the things that I've thought, said, and done in the past, and the things that I may think, say, and do in the future, Amida's primal vow, Amida's vow of great compassion, embraces me. So my selfish instincts remain. I'm fundamentally a selfish, arrogant, self-delusional human being. That is my true nature. And yet I'm saved. I'm not worthy of such great compassion, and yet it comes to me, of all people. So Amida saves me just as I am. I can't begin to comprehend how Amida's vow works in real terms. But in purely subjective and personal terms, the light of Amida's wisdom illuminates my true nature as karma's fool. So my self-centeredness causes my stress, which I'm addicted to, which is a topic for another discussion. My self-centeredness also causes stress for other people, which I don't always think about in advance, but when it happens, I regret it. So the realization is that my self-centeredness is my true nature. And so Shinran's words make it clear to me that no matter how much bocce I may deserve, Amida's compassion is all-embracing. Amida's vow is to save me because I am such a karmic fool. So aware of my true self-centered nature and the consequences of my thoughts, words, and actions impacting other people, I'm enabled to try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, to try to say pure and beautiful words, and to try to do pure and beautiful things. And so I say Namo Amida Butsu in gratitude for the absolute reality is that Amida has got my back. And I share the joy of Namo Amida Butsu with everyone I meet. So let's return to the words of Shinran Shonin. Saved by the inconceivable working of Amida's vow, I shall realize birth in the Pure Land. The moment you entrust yourself thus to the vow, so that the mind set upon saying the Nembutsu arises within you, you are immediately brought to share in the benefit of being grasped, never to be abandoned. Know that the primal vow of Amida makes no distinction between people young and old, good and evil. Only Shinjin is essential, for it is the vow to save the person whose karmic evil is deep and grave, and whose blind passions abound. Thus, for those who entrust themselves to the primal vow, no good acts are required, because no good surpasses the Nembutsu, nor need they despair of the evil they commit, for no evil can obstruct the working of Amida's primal vow. The words of Shinran Shonin. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. So just say Namo Amida Butsu and be saved by Amida. And if saying Namo Amida Butsu is not for you, just say Mahalo. And Mahalo for listening this morning. Namanda, Namanda, Namanda. Let's chant the loving kindness metta together, the words of which may be found on the screen. May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May I be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to me. May I live in peace and harmony. May my family be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my teachers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my friends be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May strangers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my enemies be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Naman Butsu. Naman Butsu. Let's all sing the Gatha, Hondok-san 2, and Gratefulness, along with Ms. Naho Umitani and Reverend Toshiyuki Umitani of Mo'ili Ili Honganji. express. For our care to teachers, for their guidance truth, we dedicate ourselves in gratefulness. Naman Nats, Naman Nats, Naman Nats, Naman Nats. Let's recite the Shinshu Pledge together, which will be found on the screen or on page 6 of the Red Service Book. I take my refuge in the vow of the Buddha. Reciting the name, I will live through life with strength and serenity. I revere the light of the Buddha. I will put my effort in my work with self-reflection and gratitude. I follow the teachings of the Buddha. Discerning the right path, I will spread the true Dharma. I rejoice in the compassion of the Buddha. I will respect and help others and do my best for the welfare of humankind. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Let's sing the Nembutsu, which will be found on the screen or on page 135 of the Red Service Book. Saved by the inconceivable working of Amida's vow, I shall realize birth in the Pure Land. The moment you entrust yourself thus to the vow, so that the mind set upon saying the Nembutsu arises within you, you are immediately brought to share in the benefit of being grasped, never to be abandoned. Know that the primal vow of Amida makes no distinction between people young and old, good and evil. Only Shinjin is essential, for it is the vow to save the person whose karmic evil is deep and grave and whose blind passions abound. Thus, for those who entrust themselves to the primal vow, no good acts are required, because no good surpasses the Nembutsu, nor need they despair of the evil they commit, for no evil can obstruct the working of Amida's primal vow. The words of Shinran Shonin. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. So once again, let's sit together quietly for a few moments. So just relax and get comfortable. And if you are able, sit forward in your seat and place both feet flat on the ground. Sit up straight and align your head, your neck, your shoulders, and your back in a straight line that goes down to the floor. Place your hands comfortably in your lap. Now close your eyes halfway so that you're looking both outwardly and inwardly. And just breathe. Breathe in and breathe out. In and out. As you breathe in, think of something for which you are grateful. And as you breathe out, just say thank you, thank you, thank you. Just breathe. The sound of the gong will signal the end of our quiet meditation. Namanda, Vitsanamanda, 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 Namanda. Got a few announcements. So the Makwa Honganji Columbarium, the Nokotsudo, is open daily from 8:30 to 5 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. And for everyone's safety, we do ask everyone to follow the posted rules. And there's hand sanitizers and disinfecting wipes are available at the entrance. You can also watch the live stream of Eitaikyo chanting in the Columbarium daily at 7 o'clock in the morning here on Facebook Live. We continue to have virtual Sunday services live on Facebook and then uploaded later to YouTube. Next Sunday, September 6th, will be the first Sunday. And we commemorate those who passed away during the month of September. And we also celebrate birthdays. So please let us know if you'd like to be on the birthday list for September. Our mailing address is makwahonganji@gmail.com. Everyone is also welcome to join our daily virtual services on Facebook Live. We have a sunrise service at 6:30 in the morning. These times are all Hawaii Standard Time. We chant the Eitaikyo chanting, perpetual chanting of sutras in the columbariums about 7 o'clock. And Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we chant the Shoshinge at 8:30 in the morning, Hawaii Standard Time. Today at 11 o'clock, so in about an hour or so, Reverend Shinji Kawagoe will be delivering an online Dharma message for the Honpa Honganji Mission of Hawaii, and it's titled, "The Nembutsu is Amida's Universal Vow for Everyone." So please tune in to that and subscribe to Honpa Honganji Mission of Hawaii to the YouTube channel. And don't forget to click on the bell icon to be reminded of future video premieres. Everyone is also welcome to join us expressing gratitude for our healthcare and essential workers in video salutes, which premiere on YouTube every Wednesday at 12 noon. The Honganji temples across Hawaii will also be ringing the temple bells in their honor. This coming Wednesday will feature healthcare and essential workers in upcountry Maui. So please take a moment to watch. That'll be this coming Wednesday at 12 noon on the YouTube channel of Honpa Honganji Mission of Hawaii. Well, thank you very much for joining our virtual Sunday service today. May your day be filled with aloha. Namanda, Vitsanamanda, 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 Vitsanamanda. Namanda.